Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where professionals in the field educate, inform and inspire the community to live a healthier and balanced life and live the lifestyle they love. Our first guest today is holistic counsellor Barbara Jackson, and we'll be talking about an holistic approach to anxiety. Welcome to the program, Barbara.
Thank you, Melissa. It's a pleasure to be here.
Barbara, in terms of anxiety, what is it?
So, Melissa, anxiety is something that many of us experience at different periods in our life. It's the fear of what may happen. So it may be based on experiences we've had and the fear of them being repeated, or it may be the fear of new experiences. Having to see somebody we don't know, go to an environment that makes us feel unsafe, unsecure. So the anxiety is the fear of feeling threatened or feeling that we won't be able to keep safe in the space or with those people. People experience anxiety in many different ways. So there's heavy breathing, increased heart rate, adrenaline rushes, what we call our stress hormone, cortisol, also flows really, really strongly. And so we're in what we call the fight, flight or freeze mode. And sometimes people don't understand that this is actually anxiety. They may feel, oh, I felt a bit rattled in that. And when they realize that this is something that repeats quite frequently, different circumstances or the same circumstances, then they can look into and maybe understand that it is actually anxiety they're experiencing. What happens as well, they may sweat. They may have the shakes, they may feel nauseous, they may feel that they feel really weak or tired. They can also feel confused or overwhelmed. And then on a more spiritual level, they may feel completely disconnected from all the energies, all the resources that they would normally have. So many people also experience anxiety to the extent where it leads to a panic attack, which is a really exacerbated level of all of those symptoms.
With anxiety, how would you use a holistic approach to deal with it?
So a holistic approach is looking at our mental, emotional, physical and spiritual well-being. So first of all, we would check with the client if they had actually been for a medical check to see that there isn't anything physically happening, chemical imbalances or anything like that. Then we would look at their history and gently and nurturingly explore when the anxiety started, how it started. They may know, they may not recognize it. They may go, well, it just happens. I don't know. So helping them to explore the causes, the triggers of the anxiety. With the holistic approach, this may also be bringing in energy healing, something like Reiki, also looking at maybe using some essential oils, some sound healing, and we can explore that at a later date as well. It's a big topic. However, it's also helping them to get to the root cause. So when we go to the root cause, that's where the healing can begin. Clients then also learn things like breathing techniques, because when we're in that panicky, anxious state, we're not really breathing properly. When we learn to take those slower, deeper breaths, we're slowing down our heart rate. We're slowing down the adrenaline. We're slowing down the cortisol. You know, sometimes when you just take that big breath and have a sigh, and it's like, oh, that feels better. So this is very similar, except we do repetitive, slow, deep breathing. This takes a person into what we call the parasympathetic state. So it's resetting our system and bringing us back into the present, where we're then able to take that moment to go, am I safe? What is the actual fear? And how else can I navigate it in a calmer state, in a more relaxed state?
Talking about the past and, is a holistic approach based in the past?
Oh, Melissa, if we look back at Hippocrates, some people may not have heard of him. So he's a Greek person who he actually started looking at us as a whole, as a mind, body and soul. And through his studies, he actually introduced a holistic approach to well-being. And it's also important for us to understand that beyond anxiety, a holistic approach can also support us if we're experiencing depression or trauma. It can support us if we're experiencing something like low self-esteem, or when we feel that we're stuck in our lives, we don't know how to move forward. So there are various approaches and techniques within the holistic counselling that can help us to untap why we're stuck, why we're holding on to the trauma. And when we heal, the important thing to remember is our story is still our story. So we may still have had the anxiety, however, it's not all consuming now. If you take a book, a big, bright, colourful book, and you open it up, or you're watching a movie and you feel like you're stepping into the colour and you're stepping into all the emotions of it, when we heal, we're still able to tell our story. That book becomes that dusty old tatty book that we can put on the bottom of the bookshelf somewhere, because we're not stepping into the raw emotions of the anxiety or the trauma or the depression. So we're able to then move forward in life with hope, with joy, with focus, and also with strategies. When we look at our breathing, when I did talk about slowing down our breathing, there is a vagus nerve, which is the longest nerve that goes from our head all the way down to our digestive system. When we reset that, we do it through a breath that's an inhale of 5 to the count of 5, and then we exhale slowly to the count of 10. And again, this slows our whole body down, helps the shoulders drop, help us to see things a lot clearer, to focus a lot better, because we're also bringing oxygen into our brain as well. So this helps us in many, many ways, and also helps our digestive system as well.
What advice would you give to people who would like to go and use this approach in their journey?
Oh, certainly, Melissa. It's first of all making sure that you seek professional advice, making sure that whoever you are going to see, that you feel you connect with them. If somebody's really anxious and they then go into a stranger, that's not necessarily going to help the anxiety. So with having that little conversation, it helps them to feel a little bit more comfortable and supported when coming to see me, or going to see any other professional as well.
Well, thank you very much for that. I learnt quite a lot.
Thank you very much.
If you would like to know more about a holistic approach to anxiety and Barbara, you can go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we'll have another guest with an interesting topic.